final area that I think you could really play a big role with AI is research. And just quickly, energy and the environment is one of the two areas I would cite most important for you. AI, for example, is much better at optimizing power grids than humans are. We can, through AI, cut down on the mistakes humans make, which lead to outages in power supply. And AI can also spot mistakes in other AI and help us overcome them before they occur. The other one would be defense and cyber defense. Every major government in the world right now is looking at autonomous weapons systems, AWS. The US is, Australia is, the UK is, France is, most of Europe, the bigger countries in Europe are looking at this, and China definitely is. We have semi-autonomous weapons now. We have drones, for example, that can adjust their flight path on the way to a target because of local weather patterns. They don't need a human controller to do that. But there's still a remote human being controlling the overall process, who is targeted, etc. Fully autonomous weapons won't need the human being at all, and they will essentially, in military terms, make the kill decision themselves. And that raises huge, huge, huge ethical situations and problems, doesn't it? Will distancing ourselves even further from the battlefield mean we lose even more of our sense of human value than we have now? And will unscrupulous generals be able to say, hey, you can't take me to The Hague. It wasn't I, 'twas the machine who made the mistake. I'm not culpable. This is an area that's going to require a lot of research, and I think Norwich could play a role in that. Some challenges. Very quickly, we've looked at opportunities. Here's just 3 or 4 challenges. Won't go through them in detail. Cashlessness. Why is that a challenge? Because cash is messy, but it has weight. You can feel it leaving your pocket. You can feel it waving goodbye as you spend it. A study recently in Britain found that people spend, on average, 30% more using a card than they do in cash. And I suggest that number's even higher if you take in cashless payments. Why? Because we're encouraging people essentially to spend more with less forethought. Now, am I saying that we shouldn't have cashlessness? No, I love it. But we should have cash alongside it so we have an economy that's fair to all, in my view. Privacy is a challenge going forward. AI linked to things like neural implants. How many have heard of Elon Musk? 4 people, good, that's encouraging. His company, Neuralink, is looking to start this year human trials on its technology, which involves placing thousands, not hundreds, thousands of tiny electrodes in the human brain, which wirelessly send messages from the brain cells to remote computers. And the belief is that this technology, and if it could do it would be wonderful, could recover sight for sight-challenged people, could help those with psychological problems like PTSD or addictions, or even memory loss in some regard. We're hopeful of all of that. But essentially it means that our brains become an extension of a remote computer. And data about us is fed constantly, about the most private thing we have, which is our thoughts, to a remote computer. So it raises questions. The tech will be good, we have to decide what we do with it. It raises questions about if someone knows the data from my thoughts, what will they do with it? Do I have any control over what they do with it? This is important. In terms of policing, there's a big one, a big challenge with brain scanning. Just very recently, research came out suggesting that machine learning apps are able to very accurately analyze huge amounts of information from fMRI scanners, brain scanners. And in the process can now, with some degree of accuracy, tell you exactly what a person's thinking in general terms. They're thinking of food, not specifically which food, but they're thinking of food. And whether that person's telling a lie. So these things are like lie detectors on steroids. Again, could be very useful, but we need to be sure that the ethics are in place to cover it. False representation, deep fakes. Deep fake videos are getting more sophisticated by the week. Imagine the damage that could be done to your personal reputation or professional reputation if a deepfake came out featuring you doing something you'd never dream of doing. You could be tried very quickly in the court of online opinion, long before you ever had a chance to prove that this thing is actually a deepfake video. So we need to be wary of it. Social inequality, technology gaps that open up when one person has access to AI, the money to access it, the education to access it, and others do not. I'll leave you to think on that. So what's required of us? This is the takeaway quickly. We need to embrace AI. We need to take a proactive approach to it, learn everything we can about it. We need to maintain, in doing that, a human-centric approach, making sure that we see this is not a replacement for human activity or human connection. Educate people, demystify AI as much as you can for the people that you lead so they can approach it without paranoia. Be conscious of the security and privacy implications, so protect the data that's given to you, the data that you use from customers, clients, and so on, and in the process protect their trust in you. Debate constantly the ethics of what's going on in your industry with AI. Never stop questioning, could this be done better and with a more fair approach? And finally, target and fund in the city, this is for all the civic leaders here, target and fund within this city areas with AI related innovation. Target them, fund them for the next 10 years, so we want to be an innovation hub when it comes to all things AI. Well, thank you very much. It's been great to address you today. Privilege and an honor. Thank you, Phil.